Welcome, everyone, to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, for the first part of this, we are going to do the non-spoiler for Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Never mind my poor. It is old. I've had it since 2001. Christmas, by the way. My dad got it for me. So it's like over 20 years old. So be nice to it, okay? I've mistreated it when I was younger. And now I regret it, but that's just the way things are. This is by J.K. Rowling. And as you know, it's part of a series called Harry Potter. If you do not know the title of the name, Harry Potter, the series. There's plenty of them. I'm your host, Leanne, for this, and I know my introductions are all over the place, but I really don't care. As long as you get the gist of what I'm doing here, it's fine. What made me read this book? It's the third book in the series. Why else would I read the book? And it's good. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. It gets better in the next couple of books because she fleshes things out more and better than she did before. So, I would read the back of this book for you, but there's no back for it. So here we go. For 12 long years, the dread fortress of Azkaban held an infamous prisoner named Sirius Black. Convicted of killing 13 people with a single curse, he was said to be the heir apparent to the Dark Lord, Voldemort. Now he has escaped, leaving only 2 clues as to where he might be headed. Harry Potter's defeat of you-know-who was Black's downfall as well. And the Aspen guards heard Black muttering in his sleep. Keys. Harry Potter isn't safe, not even within the walls of his magical school, surrounded by his friends, because on top of it all, there may well be a traitor. Dun, dun, dun. This book genre is considered to be middle grade and young adult contemporary fantasy. How's that for you? I'm used to keeping it over here, but now my camera's like this way, so I'm not handed in anything. So maybe I could just do this, or maybe I could slide this way, so I can do this better because it's a little more. Well, let me make sure in my bid for comfort you can see it. Okay, yeah. Okay, so did this live up to my expectations? It was as I expected it to be. A little more plot thrown throughout the book. A little more notes, foreshadowing, suspense. Delving deeper as Harry gets older into more mature adult things. Or teenage things, I guess you could. Instead of young kid stuff. It's like you can grow up with these books. As you grow older, the more they make it hard for you as you're older. Like the first 2 are for like 11 and 12-year-olds. This one's for like 13-year-olds. And the next one's for teenagers, So it's the way it is. So, should you go and read this story/series? Yes, if you love magical worlds, schools, and the plot happening in the last half of the book. Which is still true. Majority of it. It's getting better. It's getting better. So, your characters in this is quite simple. So, Marge Dursley is Vernon Dursley's sister, and Dudley Dursley's aunt, who Harry's had to call Aunt Marge his entire life for who the fuck knows why. She comes to visit. Now, Harry had wheedled a promise out of his uncle. If I behave while our Aunt Marge is here, you'll send my permission slip to go to Hogsmeade during the weekend. And they made that tit for tat deal. And of course it was broken because Marge was very mean about Lily and James because she was told the lies that Petunia and Fern told her about how they're drunk layabouts who didn't have jobs, who died in a car crash because they were drunk driving and nearly killed their son. What made Harry blow up and blow his aunt up like a balloon was the fact that she said if there's something wrong with the female dog, drown him. Because obviously that's what you do with dogs, not with humans. So, because of that, Harry takes his stuff and leaves. He's performing rage magic, so he decides that, frick it. I'm gonna take all my stuff and I'm just gonna leave and I'm just gonna go. So, as he goes down the street, he's like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? I don't have anything. Nothing. My trunk? My stuff in my trunk? What am I gonna do? He sees a huge black dog with eyes staring at him from an alleyway. He goes to raise his wand to light it to get a better look. He summons a night bus. The night bus. Ernie and Stan. Stan's the greeter, Ernie's the driver, and Ernie's a little crazy. I mean, he's got a head, shriveled heads hanging that he talks to. The night bus can get you from place to place, and it's very fast, and it can squeeze itself into place, and stuff jumps out of the way for it. So, he doesn't have to worry about anything, because houses even move out of the way for it. A transportation that, they get to Leaky Golden, and Cornelius Fudge is there, happy that Harry's safe. He doesn't know why. He's an actual safest place for you to be. So he gets put up there by Tom, the caretaker of the Leaky Cauldron, who spends his rest of the summer in Diagon Alley, exploring, doing homework, and all kinds of wonderful things. So towards the end, the last week, Hermione and all the Weasleys go to stay at the Leaky Cauldron. I'm going to assume to keep Patty company for the last week. Some of the summer, the Weasley family had all been in, I think it was Egypt, Cairo, Egypt. No picture was taken because Arthur won a lot of money and they went to Egypt to visit their son Bill, who's a curse breaker, in Egypt. So, yeah. I could use that money for other things, like new clothes, new books, and all that stuff for all the Weasley children. A little disappointing on that part. Okay. I don't know why I'm explaining any of this to you guys. You guys should know this stuff in the spoiler section. I forgot to tell you guys. Whatever. Anyways, so Harry learns about Sirius Black being out again, and trying to get Christian tries to kill Scabbers. By the way, Scabbers is Peter Pettigrew, who faked his death, killed 12 Muggles, and got Sirius Black arrested for a crime he didn't commit. 2 crimes he didn't commit. Percy had him, and then Percy got out for becoming perfect. Prefect. Anyways, whatever. So yeah. Let's see. So, we still have a lot of stuff going on in this book. The Sirius Black, Remus Lupin, Peter Pettigrew are the main, and Scabbers are the main things that are in this one. I mean, besides all of that, that's about it. Harry not being allowed to go to Hogsmeade. Gets into the Gryffindor Tower because the fat lady lets him in. Doesn't let him in. He slashes it up, and then he gets steals, has crochet steals. Neville Longbottom's freaking little note of paper of passwords so he could get in. So there's that. I'm just really not into explaining it right now. Jeez. Get on it, Liz. You know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about, okay? So Sirius Black was best friend with Ginny, Potter, Miss Lupin, and Peter Pettigrew. Though they just allowed Peter Pettigrew to follow along. I don't really allowed them to follow along. Miss Lupin is a werewolf. They found out about it. And then some animals. Sirius Black was a black dog, a Grim. Potter is a stag, which is and Peter Pettigrew became Wormtail, which is bloody. Peter Pettigrew became a Death Eater to save his own skin. He was terrified that Voldemort was going to win. He was out of the winning side, not realizing that the downfall was going to be what's going to happen. So, Sirius Black pretended to be the Secret Keeper as Peter Pettigrew became it, so that way he'd be the keeper. So, because of that, Peter Pettigrew was able to hand him on silver platter at Jenny's side. As we learn in this one, because of the Dementors, we learn that she said no 3 times, and then he killed her, and then tried to kill Harry, and that's how his life backfired. Remus Lupin teaches Harry the Patronus charm, protect him, and he does eventually come back. Hermione has taken every single class that you can possibly take at Hogwarts, because you can, if she wants to. So she gets a time turner, which allows her to turn back time to attend classes. All the classes that she could attend. Because of that, she was able to go back in time to save Buckbeak, who was going to be killed because Boy wanted to prove that he could do whatever he wanted, and get a dangerous beast killed, even though Buckbeak wasn't dangerous. It was a Malfoy, Draco Malfoy, insult Buckbeak. Hagrid said, "Don't insult. They will attack. They're very prideful creatures." You don't. And you milk your milk his injury. He milked his injury. I couldn't think of the word for 2 seconds. So in the last half of the book, as you know, majority of this stuff happened. When they think Buckbeak's been killed, they go up to they're going back up to the castle. They had snuck down to see Hagrid before Buckbeak was to be killed, to support him in some way, shape, or form. Sirius Black came in his dog form, bit Ron, and pulled Ron off with Scabbers underneath the Whomping Willow into the Shrieking Shack, labeled haunted, even though there was no cries or noises coming from it. Looking at the pool, as a student, he would go into the Shrieking Shack and bite himself and injure himself, but he didn't have to protect him from until Sirius, James, and Peter became Animagus and joined him, and they were able to go out and go everywhere, anywhere. They explored everything that way. So that is the reason for that. So Sirius Black brings him into the Shrieking Shack. Hermione and Harry go after him. Leaving the cloak behind, following Crookshanks. So they get in there. Sirius Black is there. They find out stuff, and then Lupin comes in. He disarms him. Says, "Where is he?" Somewhere I saw you. Fuse, and then discovers it's not an actual pet rat. Angus, and they're telling the whole story about how it all happened, and then Severus Snape interrupts, and he decides that Severus Snape decides he wants to take Sirius up to get kissed because he doesn't really care about the truth or anything. He just hates Sirius Black because Sirius Black almost ended his life, and he doesn't like Remus Lupin because Remus Lupin almost ended his life. No, it wasn't Remus Lupin's fault. Okay? It was Sirius Black's. Completely and utterly. And yes, James grew a head at that time and saved him from being mauled by a werewolf. And that's why he hated James. For the most part. I mean, other than them tormenting him, two of them, and Remus doing nothing to stop the torments. Ron and Harry wanted to hear the rest of it, so they all did an experiment, not to Severus Snape out cold. So they listened to the rest of the story. Peter Pettigrew was turned back. He was, and honestly, deserves prison for what he's done. If he survived, he'd probably die. He really does deserve to die because he's the and he hid because he was terrified that Sirius Black was going to come get him, which was right because he did something. So they decide to head back to school to hand Peter Pettigrew over to the Dementors to explain that Sirius Black is innocent so they could free him so Harry could go live with him, because Harry definitely wants to go live with him, even though he's only met Sirius Black for 5 bloody minutes. But Remus Lupin forgot to take his wolf's bane, turns into a werewolf. After him, Peter Pettigrew escapes, which Trelawney, who is a divination teacher, gives a okay, for you guys, time has not passed. For me, time has passed. I was talking about the whole thing. Okay, so Peter escapes, and Harry chases after Pettigrew, gets lost in the forest. Hermione's with him. They hear a yelp, they go to see that Sirius Black is turned back into a human. He's lying on the ground, he's unconscious. A bunch of Dementors come out. Hermione goes down second. She has no resistance. Harry, who's resisting it, Expecto Patronum, doesn't get it. Sees a Patronus up from across the road come out and chase away all of it. He can't see what kind of animal. He goes back to the other side of the lake, and he sees whom he thinks is his father. And he collapses. So Severus Snape comes along, grabs them all up, brings them all to the thing. The price is Cornelia Fudge. Professor Flitwick, for some reason, has an office on the 7th floor, which is really weird. For him to have a office on the 7th floor. Anyways, Harry Potter and Hermione Granger wake up. Ron's asleep, and they hear what's going on. Sirius Black is getting kissed by the Dementors. Sirius Snape's praises are being sung. They find out Harry's awake. They think Harry's Albus Dumbledore comes in. He says, "Go on, I want to speak to the kids for a minute." He tells them we ain't got a lot of time. Here's what's going to happen. And poor Harry does not understand anything. 3 times, Miss Granger. And Harry's like, "What?" So Hermione loops a chain around Harry's neck, and he 3 turns with this little thing. And then Harry gets the in. time turner. Hermione's been using a time turner the whole year to get to her classes, and now they're going to save 2 lives. She goes, I don't know who to listen. He's like, Buckbeak. We're going to save Buckbeak. So they go to save Buckbeak, and then they got to wait around. They watch Ron be pulled away. They watch Harry and Hermione go into it, and then they wait. They see Remus Lupin coming in, and then they see Severus Snape, and then they're just like sitting back, and then they all come out. You see everything that happens. Hermione realizes they're in the way of the werewolf, so they go to move. They go into Hagrid's hut, and then Harry comes out of Hagrid's hut, listening and waiting for things to happen. And then Kira's gets the best of him. He goes and runs to the lake on the other side, and he's just standing there behind a tree line going, come out, Dad, save them. And he's like, it was me. So he goes out, does the Expecto Patronum, and his dad comes out, chases away the Dementors, and comes back. He carries up his hand. It disappears. Hermione comes down. He explains that, yeah, I saw somebody I thought was my dad, but it was actually me, so I didn't go crazy, so nothing's wrong. It was my dad. So they go and they see McNair come out to go get the Dementor, so they go and rescue Sirius. So Sirius and Buckbeak go away, and Harry and Hermione make their way back down to the hospital wing, where Albus Dumbledore locks them in just after they leave, so nobody knows that they left. So they sit down on their beds, and then they find out what happens because Severus Snape shrieks, and he comes running along, screaming and hollering about how it's all Harry Potter's fault that Sirius Black escaped. Harry Potter helped him. End of the year. So Harry Potter goes home, and he tells a Dursley, so he's escaped. Accused of mass murder. That's his godfather. That's going to be checking out. He can have an easy summer without worries. Or that summer. My favorite character in this was Neville. Because the poor child just wanted to be able to get into his common room without issues. It's not his fault that he's forgetful. That's why his grand gave him an emerald, but he doesn't remember anything. He's very forgetful because of his grandmother and his uncle. And I think if his father and mother had been uninsane, that Neville would not be the way Neville is. So, yeah. My most disliked character probably is Fudge, because he doesn't want to care about children or investigation. If he investigated properly, he would have realized that Sirius Black did not have a trial. Thus, he was not ever formally convicted of the crimes that he was convicted of. That he wasn't actually convicted. And then they would have sat there and used murder serum on him and found out that, hey, Sirius Black had never did anything, alive, and who put a bigger he was. But not that they would matter, because he went back to Voldemort, as Charlie predicted, that he would escape at night. He was shackled somehow. Technically, he wasn't. He could have escaped at any time. He just didn't want to because he didn't have a reason to. Until that night. What stood out as memorable? How quickly Harry agreed to live with Sirius Black after only knowing him for a very short amount of time, and there was innocent of all crimes that placed him in Azkaban. Like, literally. Sirius Black is on their way down out of the Whomping Willow tunnel, goes, hey, you want to live with me? I mean, I know it'd be cool if you were someone like your uncle, it'd be cool with me. And he's like, live with you. I would live with you and happy. Let's do it. I was like, okay, cool. And, yeah, no. Like, that's too quick, Harry. I know you're desperate to get out of Uncle Vermin's and it feels some, but too fast. A little too fast. My favorite passage from the story is the Patronus turned. It was cantering back toward Harry across the still surface of the water. It wasn't a horse. It wasn't a unicorn either. It was a stag. It was shining brightly as the moon above. It was coming back to him. It stopped on the bank. Its hooves made no mark on the soft ground as it stared at large silver eye. Slowly, it bowed its antler head. And Harry realized Prongs, which was the name of James Potter's animagus form. My favorite quote, which comes not far after it. I knew I could do it this time, said Harry, because I'd already done it. Talking about the Patronus. Like, this is the revelations that I could do it all the time because I've already did it. So of course I could do it if I've already done it. It's just like a loop thing that if Harry had never gone back in time, would have never happened, which means they would have never been saved, all three of them would have kissed, and they would have been nothing they needed to do. So obviously, for them to still be around, it had to have happened, which means he's always been able to form the Patronus, and it became wrongs simply because he thinks of it as a protector. At first, he thought it was his dad, so dad protection. So the connection between him and his dad, and the feeling of protection that he felt, and that of course he could do it because it was always him all along that could protect himself, it became wrong. And the favorite quote is because he knew he could do it, because he'd already done it, because he saw himself do it, even though at the time he thought it was not him, that it was somebody else. He figures it out and realizes, it's me, I can do it, I have the power to drive away all of these. And then he can always do it. Because once you do it once, you can always do it again. What I thought about the ending of the book. I hated Sirius Black fled instead of trying to clear his name. He could have sent an owl to Man of Bones and had her do an investigation because everybody knows she takes the law seriously and she would have done something about it. Or he could have written to Grimgratz and have them be meeting on Grimgratz grounds where, sovereignty. You can't do anything in Grimgratz without consequences. But instead, he doesn't do neither of that. He just runs away and sends a letter saying, "Hey, I'm the one who sent you the fireball. Hey, this bird can go to Ron. Sorry for losing your rat. I'll be around if you need me. Stay safe." And then gives him a signed thing for permission to go to Hogsmeade. His fourth. Yay! Why does bad thing have to happen to Harry? Why couldn't Harry have one good thing going in his life? Living with Sirius Black. You could have done that, J.K. Rowling. You could have read Sirius Black and still killed him off and still made a good plot point. Because it would have made it even better if he had been living with Sirius and loved Sirius and had an attachment to him, and then you killed him off. Would have been better, in my opinion. What book did it remind me of? Well, the other two books in the series so far, I've not really read anything else about students going to school. Happening this channel. Actually, ever. I don't think there's really many books I read about school. But if I had to liken it to something, it would be The Beginning After the End by Tarleton Lee, which is up on Tapas. And you can purchase the manhwa off from and probably other places too, like Amazon. Arthur Lewin goes to school for a little while and bad things happen. So I guess it can be like that, but he's like an overpowered dude who is stronger than Harry. So even though bad things happen, he kind of badass at it. While Harry is kind of still learning magic, so he's not really that bad. This book, as you know, is part of a series called Harry Potter, and there are 7 total main books. You have one with full of short stories. You've got 2 very slim books that are like supposed to be textbooks, and you do have a screenplay that was made into a play that's being made into a movie. You do have all the movies. You have the 3 Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which one of the textbooks is. Have that, and then you have, of course, a new series that's coming out. I write this A3 because why can't anything good happen to Harry until after Voldemort? A lot of bad stuff happens to Harry all the time. All the time, bad stuff happens to Harry. Bad, 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 bad. Until after Voldemort's dead. I mean, like, he doesn't. I mean, yeah, sure, he gets together with Ginny for a little while, but breaks up with her. Gets together with Cho for a little while, breaks up with her. He's a care godfather. He dies. I mean, like, so much bad stuff. It's so irritating. Oh. Anyways, folks. If you think you deserve a like, comment, or even your lovely subscription, drop it down below. I'll see you next illusion.